are created to outline an organizational goals and how to achieve them. In Malaysia, one of the main housing policies is the build and sell policy. The build and sell policy allows developers to sell houses only after the construction is completed. Unlike the traditional sell then build system where buyers pay during construction. This policy was introduced by the government to protect homebuyers and ensure better quality. It helps reduce risks such as abandoned projects, construction delays, and poor workmanship that often occurs under the sell then build system.
Next is what is build and sell policy. The build and sell policy is a housing system introduced by the Malaysian government as an alternative to the traditional sell and build system. Under this policy, houses are only sold after construction is fully completed and ready for occupation. Unlike the sell and build system, where buyers pay in stages during construction, the build and sell system helps protect buyers from risks such as delays, poor workmanship, and abandoned projects. It also builds trust between developers and buyers, as people can see the finished home before making payment. Overall, this policy encourages higher construction quality, greater transparency, and a more sustainable housing industry in Malaysia.
Under this policy, both developers and homebuyers have important roles. Developers must complete the finance the entire housing project before selling it. They need to meet all safety and quality standards and get the certificate of completion and compliance before any sale. This shows responsibility and builds public trust. For homebuyers, this policy offers better protection. They only pay once the house is fully built, avoiding risks like abandoned projects and poor quality. Buyers can also check the house before buying, ensuring fairness and transparency. Overall, this policy helps create a safer and more reliable housing market in Malaysia.
Our first and most urgent for this policy is to eliminate abandoned housing projects. The most severe flaw of STB model was the frequent occurrence of abandoned projects. When the developer faced financial trouble or mismanagement, the project stalled and the buyer remained obligated to service their bank loan for a home that was non-existent or incomplete. But the build and sell system fundamentally shifts this risk, where the developer must fund the construction themselves through bridging finance or capital. They only collect 19% balance payment upon the completion of the project and the issuance of the certificate of completion and compliance. This mechanism ensures the developer is financially accountable for completion and reducing the risk of abandon for the buyer. The second key reason is to enforce quality and workmanship. Under STB, the developer had little financial incentive to guarantee quality and meet deadlines because the buyer's money was already secured early in the process. But for the build and sell is built on a strong commercial incentive, since the developer's final 90% revenue is contingent upon the buyer accepting the finished unit. They are compelled to deliver the property on time and secure high standard of workmanship. The buyer gains control over the final disbursement, allowing them to inspect the completed home before authorizing the final payment. Finally, the policy aims to restore public confidence by offering a safer and more transparent delivery method. The government aims to rebuild public trust in the housing market, which was severely shattered by decades of development failure under the old models. The build and sell policy reinforced the essential principle that citizens should pay tangible a complete asset where a home they can walk into and not a mere concept on paper. It is about ensuring a fair and secure transaction for one biggest purchase.
We move to when did build and sell is being implemented. In 2006, the government introduced the BTS concept to protect home buyers and prevent abandoned projects. A 2-year trial was launched with incentives for developers. In 2007, BTS 1090 model introduced. The buyers will pay 10% first and then they pay 90% after completion. It helped reduce risk and improve transparency. In 2012, the government announced BTS to be made mandatory by 2015. It's supported by National House Buyer Association. Lastly, in 2014, plan to make BTS mandatory was cancelled to avoid market disruption. BTS and sell then build, or STB, allowed to coexist. In conclusion, the build and sell policy has played an important role in Malaysia's housing development. Even though it wasn't made compulsory, it showed the government's effort to protect buyers and promote accountability among developers.
The foundation of build and sell is firmly rooted in the federal legal framework, which is Housing Development, Control and Licensing Act 1966 HDA. This act ensures the policy applies uniformly across all the Peninsula Malaysia. The BTS 10 to 19 model, the specific operation is defined in HDA Regulations Schedule I and J. This mandate the statutory standard contract terms, which are 10% down payment upon signing the sale and purchase agreement, and the remaining 9% payable only upon the issuance of the certificate of completion and compliance. And any developer choosing build and sell must adhere to this regulation consumer protection nationwide from Kuala Lumpur to Johor. Next, the build and sell policy is centrally managed by the Ministry of Housing and Local Government, KPKT. They are responsible for licensing developer, monitoring project progress, and ensuring compliance with the HDA. This central control prevents inconsistent implementation across state and preserving the system's effectiveness. Lastly, while it is legally available nationwide, the policy particle application is concentrated to target group where it is mainly seen in a new residential launches by financial robust developer, and only developer with access to significant capital or commercial bridging loans can manage the high upfront construction costs required by the build and sell model. Its implementation is most visible in major urban and metropolitan areas like Klang Valley, Greater Penang, and Iskandar, Malaysia, where this developer operate.
Lastly is how the build and sell policy is implemented. It is through a 1090 system. Under this system, the buyer pays only 10% of the house price when signing off the purchase agreement, and remaining 90% is after the house is fully completed and has received the certificate of completion and compliance of or CCC. This approach is much safer for buyers because they only pay the house when the house is ready. For example, if a buyer purchase 400,000, they only pay 40,000 first, and then the rest after they can see the completed house and confirm the quality. Meanwhile, the developers need to use their own fund, bank loans, to complete the construction before selling. The Ministry of Housing and Local Government, or KPT, monitors and licenses developers to make sure they follow all rules under the Housing Development Act 1990 Overall, this policy helped create a transparent, safe, and high-quality housing market in Malaysia, while increasing public confidence in property industry. In conclusion, the build and sell policy was introduced to improve Malaysia's housing system by protecting buyers from incomplete projects or poor workmanship. Through the 1090 model, buyers only pay after the house is fully completed and safe to live in. This system encourages developers to be more responsible and careful with their projects, which help build trust in housing market. Even though small developer may face challenges due to higher costs, the policy still promotes a fair, transparent, and sustainable housing industry in Malaysia. Thank you.